When your son is dying on the floor of the Eaton Centre and you live through that, and then, moving forward, you're just every day in fear of, is he going to fall? I mean, we're constantly checking on Connor, just making sure that, he's always accounted for. And that really will go, to the end. So, I think the important thing about today for, with Craig and Connor, and Taylor's grandmother and myself really wanted to get across is that this isn't about Christopher Husbands. This is about all of these other people that he's impacted. And really, we had no voice at this second trial. There was no voice for us. And I think had there been a voice, had we been able to get there and really present what happened, things might be different. And that's why we find ourselves in a case where everything is now about, how can his sentence be as lenient as possible, and his lawyers trying to make that happen. And that's what's frustrating us is we thought the system was about the victims, and it's not really about the victims, is our analysis.
What do you think of the approach of the Crown this time? Like, they want to make a case regarding public interest, safety, not just this case per se.
Right, and I think that's great. And perhaps if that had happened earlier. I mean, the truth is, this is all happening because the second trial happened, and we know the first trial was the correct answer. The first trial happened correctly, except for a technicality that their lawyers discovered, or I'm sure worked really hard to find somewhere. And now that we're here, I think it's great, and I appreciate what the Crown's trying to do in bringing these other situations to bear. My thing is, I just don't know how far that's going to take it. Are we going to get to the point where we can keep him in jail longer? I mean, public safety. Everybody in Toronto should care about this because he randomly shot up the mall. What's to say he won't do it again? I mean, he hasn't changed. He hasn't had any rehabilitation. So why would somebody like that be let out on the streets? I don't understand that at all.
Well, how do you feel when you hear about shootings in the street now? Last year was a record, and there are random shootings now taking place anywhere in the city. So the Eaton Centre could be anywhere.
It could be, and every time I hear it, I feel sad. I feel depressed. I feel sorry for the families that has happened to. And when I'm out, I'm kind of looking around. When I'm downtown like this, I'm kind of looking around because we just have to be vigilant. But we need to take guns off the streets. I mean, it's starting to happen more in Canada now than it ever has. It's been escalating. Craig, you had some stats where the shootings have, I don't know, they're quadrupled or more since 2012. We should care, and this is about having people with bad tempers and guns, and let's face it, in this case it was men known to each other having a gang war, right? And so this isn't about PTSD, as Craig and Connor both said. This is a real illness for brave heroes and firemen and EMS and police officers that see terrible things and risk their lives every day. This is not supposed to be a defense for a gang shooting. I mean, I hope that something different comes out of this. I hope that at least the maximum sentence is given or another trial to really set the tone for this is not allowed in this city.